Hello people, my name's Mark and welcome to my channel, and today we're going to be talking about Charoite. Alright, so Charoite. What do I know about Charoite? Well, I googled it just before I started filming this, and evidently it's a hardness of 5 to 6, which is, I guess, comparable pretty much to about turquoise. So it's not incredibly hard. It's not hard like jasper or agate. This particular piece is 0.42 pounds, which works out to, and so this piece was given to me by a friend, and I've never cut Charoite before, and she, I asked her about how much did she pay for it, and she said it was a $60 stone. So at 0.42 pounds, that works out to about $140 a pound for this tumbled Charoite specimen. And it seems like a nice specimen. It doesn't have a lot of this dark area or the large quartzy pockets. At least it kind of looks quartzy pockets to me. But I've commonly seen Charoite slabs for sale at about $100 a pound. It can be more expensive. I've seen, I think the least expensive that I've seen it is about $80 a pound for kind of blocky, rough material. And I might have seen it for less, but I don't particularly remember. I've never cut Charoite before because it's one of those stones that is fibrous. I've heard it's quite fibrous, and it can be difficult to work with as far as cutting and cabbing it. And because it's expensive and difficult to work with, I've never been terribly intrigued with purchasing it and cutting it myself. Somebody once gave me this piece of Larimar, also known as pectolite, but it's an incredibly difficult stone to cut. It just keeps chipping and breaking, and it wasn't fun at all. So I've never bought more. I've probably made one or two little tiny pieces because, you know, I start out with a cool cab and then a piece breaks off and it gets a little smaller and the shape gets a little odder, and then eventually you're down to nothing. And it's just not worth it. And this is Amazonite, and I've found Amazonite to be difficult to cut as well. And oftentimes I just won't cut it. I love the material. I think it's beautiful, but physically cutting the material and making a cab from start to finish is not fun. So today we're going to cut this Charoite, and I'm not going to use this thick blade. I'm going to use a thinner blade, and I'll set up the camera with the zoom lens, and we'll get some different shots and make a few slices. I told my friend who gave me this rock that I would cut her some cabs, and so that's what I intend to do. I'll cut a few slices, maybe half the rock or something like that. get a few slices of material and see what we can make. So this is the thin point, I think it's a .04 or .40 lapidary blade, MK, I think 301 or whatever it is, the smooth one. It's a very soft blade meant for oil saws, but for precious materials, I like to use a thinner blade versus this blade is .6 or .06. All right, so we've got the thin blade, and I'll set up some cameras to catch the action. Hearing protection and eye protection. And I'm going to be cutting off this tip. This kind of the smaller area. It looks like it has some of the nastiness. That one got a little thin, but that's okay maybe. All right, so I've taken our first little slice, the second little slice, third slice, and fourth slice. This one got a little thin. It's probably 3.5 millimeters or something right there. But that's still thick enough. Depending on the strength of the material and the size of the cab. And even then, expensive material it's kind of normal to cut it a little bit thin. All right, so I think there's some cabs in here. I think there's a really nice oval right there, perhaps. Maybe a drop out of this one or something. I don't know. We'll find out. Hang around if you want to watch a cab, maybe. I think that's got a little chatoyance in it. All right, here we are outside, no longer in the Lapidary dungeon. My cabbing machine is in my shed currently because it's a warm day late in August. All right, so I made 4 cuts. The first one kind of fractured apart, and this little tiny piece will probably just go in my driveway gemstones. Could probably make something out of this, but I don't want to start with it. I want to start with this piece right here. A very nice piece, a very nice cut, 6 to 5.5 millimeters probably. I think there's a beautiful oval in here, so we'll try this. So this is a Cab King 8-inch machine. Currently have 6 wheels on it, and this is a 100 grit texture X wheel, 220 grit hard wheel, 280 grit Nova wheel, and on this side 600 grit Nova, 1200 grit Nova, 3000 grit Nova, and on the end I have a diamond on a canvas pad. Water drip system above. I did put the GoPro right here. Might as well film some of this. All right, so I will be reading from the Wikipedia page for charoite. Charoite is a rare silicate material first described in 1978. It was believed to be named after the Chara River, but due to the river being 70 kilometers away from its discovery place, now it is believed to be named after the Russian word chari, meaning magic or charms. When it was discovered, it was thought to be fake, dyed purple to give it its striking appearance. Properties. Charoite is a translucent lavender to purple in color with a pearly luster. Charoite is strictly massive in nature and fractures are conchoidal. It has an unusual swirling, fibrous appearance, sometimes chatoyant, and that, along with its intense color, can lead many to believe at first that it is synthetic or artificially enhanced. Though reportedly discovered in the 1940s, it was not known to most of the world until its description in 1978. It is said to be opaque and unattractive when found in the field, a fact that may have contributed to its late recognition. Charoite consists of oxygen, silicon, calcium mainly, but its composition includes potassium, which gives it its radioactive properties, and hydrogen as well. It has a barely detectable radioactive concentration per gamma ray American Petroleum Institute units. Inclusions mainly come in the swirly patterns of the mineral. The black spots on some specimens are either augite or augrine, the latter occurring in almost all charoites since they commonly grow together. Large, round, greenish spots are feldspar. Lighter colored stones or ones with translucent areas are likely due to canosite. The yellowish brown spots are tincosite, which was discovered at the same time as charoite was. Charoite's silky, fibrous structure results in a shimmery looking polished stone. Sometimes the very white flashes are tiny white feldspar. Sugilites and charoites can be confused, as both are purple, and sugilite can have black and white inclusions. However, sugilite lacks the swirling pattern that are present in charoite stones, and it also lacks the chatoyant effect. Occurrences. It has been reported only from the Aldan Shield, Sakha Republic, Siberia, Russia. It is found where a syenite of the Murun Massif has intruded into an altered limestone deposits, producing a potassium feldspar metasomate, and forms between 200 and 250 degrees Celsius. Tincosite, canacite, and charoite are associated, and black ogrene is also common where these three minerals grow. Common impurities include aluminum, iron, manganese, strontium, and barium. Charoite is a rock like lapis lazuli, but unlike the latter one, charoite mostly consists of the mineral charoite. Marketing and uses. When it arrived to the Western market, it was already named charoite. Common trade names include charoite jade and lilac stone. Although considering its rarity and only type locality, even the highest quality charoite gemstones cost only a few dollars a carat, usually costing between $1.10 to $3 per carat. In its price, color, and chatoyancy are the main factors. Chatoyant translucent varieties are the most sought after, as white chatoyancy already being uncommon in the mineral. Translucent varieties are rarer than the more common opaque ones. Alongside jewelry, due to the fact that the material can be massive in size, charoite can be used in the making of bookends, vases, goblets, boxes, or in small statues. Although its relatively high hardness, it makes poor centerpieces in rings and in bracelets. As it is heat-sensitive mineral, the mechanical cleaning of it should be avoided. It is recommended to use mild detergents and soft brushes or a cloth to clean it, and to never use strong and toxic detergents on it. So I've kind of got to a shape that I like. Looks fairly symmetrical. I'm going to go ahead and go with a low dome. I haven't really started any kind of dome yet. I just was playing with it. I'm quite impressed with the material. It's gorgeous. This is going to be a beautiful cab. The material seems very, very, very high quality, and it's hard. This is, so Google says that it's a 5 or a 6. Let me tell you, this is at least a 6. Like quartz materials that are listed as a 7 cut easier and polish faster or whatever compared to this. So, I don't think every piece of quartz is a 7, and this is certainly not a 5. So that's what I know just from experience. It seems like a very quartzy material to me, but I was going to read the Wikipedia entry and then you'll know as much as I do. But it's a beautiful piece, and I'm going to keep going on it. So this is after the 100 grit shaping and a little bit of 220 on the edges and the bottom. Looks like I still need to keep going on the bottom a little bit. But we'll get a dome on there, and I'll see you in a minute. All right, after 280 grit, I can see that there is a tiny fracture in it. Kind of going across there like that, which is a shame because it's a beautiful piece other than that fracture. But I'll go ahead and keep making it. Looks like that crack is just kind of disappearing in the polish. I'm going to work on the backside a little bit more. But that's 1200. Well, that is the finished product for me. A beautiful gemstone. That might even be cab of the day.